Hello everybody, Reaper X1 here again, playing some more Terra Tech, and I'm right where I left off, continuing on in 0.7.4.4. Just got my fuel put in the last time, but before we get to too much, and before I get rambling on like an idiot, or like someone pretending he knows what he's talking about, I would like to say welcome, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy what you're going to see. I know I enjoyed making it. And you know what to do if you did. Just in case you didn't, like, subscriptions, the buttons, the comments, the feedback. It's all great. All awesome. Even the constructive criticisms. I like them too. Because, all that feedback, it helps me learn. Helps me get better. And speeds the process up a bit. So, if there's anything that you think that's going right, going wrong, or even if you just want to say hello, it'd be awesome to hear from you. Because, you guys bring the awesome to my little channel. I can bring video, but you guys bring the awesome. So as I'm kind of just feeling out where I want to put my health and all my bubbles, I'm just going to kind of mention the Saturday Showcase. That thing where all your cool and original techs could have their own video. It's not meant for me. Those ones I started because I like a lot of the techs that I see that I don't build. And you know what? Sometimes they just don't get the showing that they need. Like the community core, it's limited on time. Or it just runs real slow and it doesn't get all the attention it deserves. That's when you bring it to me. I'll make the video. I'll suffer the lag. I don't suffer lag. I just used to it now. I do a lot of laggy building. But all you got to do is find your in-game snapshots, or take one first and find it, or your save game, post it on my thread that I've made. You can find a link for it down in the description. It's called the Saturday Showcase Auditions. I'll take it from there and make the best dang video out of it I can. And if you feel like a giving sort today, there's also another way you can support this little channel. That's the paypal.me link down there. It's all in the description, just like I said there once. Man, I repeat myself a lot. I forget what I talk about sometimes. But anyway, if you'd like to donate a couple bucks, it'd be more than appreciated. Eternally appreciated, honestly. I don't forget people that help me out, and I'm always happy to help. But what that also does is a small $2 donation will get your name thrown into a draw that could potentially have you being the owner of a new $40 3D printed tech. And if you haven't heard me talk about this before, also keep in mind that the more support that comes in, the more I can throw at that prize. So I'm not trying to bribe you, but it is a good incentive. I'm just trying to let you know that I'm only doing this to better my channel. And which would better everything all around it. I hope. So, if you're interested, it's all down there. So back to here. Kind of just filling in some gaps, and I figured, well, underneath, what better thing to put under there than some batteries? Because if I do everything right with my guns, nothing should get under there. But there's always that one slippery little sucker that will, so I'm going to armor this puppy up a wee bit. Those skews, though, I got a feeling they're going to cause me some issues. I do like the idea of having them under there, because they're low to the ground, maybe they'll suck everything right to it. But then things can get caught up on the wheels, and they jump up off the ground first and a little bit to be pulled, so it could be like right there. I already got one caught on a wheel. So yeah, they might move. I might put them back. I don't know. I might leave them. I'm not sure yet. It's one of those design things that doesn't have to happen right now because it is an outer block. You can't bury them because if there's too much obstruction around that ball, it won't pick up the bigger blocks. And it might not even seem like it's an obstruction. It really messed with me when I was playing with them there on my one other build. When I was, I forget what I called it. It was something about mobility. Trying to be mobile or something like that. Not the Hooded Nightmare. That was a different one. Yeah, I'm always trying to be mobile. I don't know why. It's hard to play a game when you're moving around so much. But yeah, I think this would be a good little spot to have some mini guns under here, though. Any little guy wants to get under here, they're going to have to face a little bit of hell to get at me. And I'm hoping anything that can fit under here can be dealt with by two miniguns fast enough before they blow through my armor. and blow up my batteries, which is, there's enough there to probably take me out. My cab's right in there too. It's probably a design flaw, but usually it doesn't become an issue. Not when I put it in the dead center of my tech. Sometimes if I put it at the back, I get taken out a little bit, but that's just by the faster guys. And it's usually when it's not completely done. But I have changed my build strategies a wee bit. So I'm hoping that it'll help. Now, I don't know if it's for the better, my changes, but it should keep things more original. Because I don't like copying my same designs over and over again. Even in the starting of the game when you don't have much options. Because I know it works for me. It may not work for everyone, but it works for me. So I go to that because that's the blocks I know I'm getting after I beat up Big Tony. Little Big Tony. So I go from there and I try to change it. But, there's only so much you can do. But I can tolerate that. But later game, when I don't have that many restrictions, I always try to get something different going on. At least a little bit. Unless I wasn't completely satisfied with the way I did the last run, or I think maybe I could have did something better. Then I revisit the same designs a couple times. Gotta be happy with stuff, right? Like all these guns at the back. I figure that'll help me get an edge on anything that does get underneath me too. Now I'm not sure if those repeating rifles will turn right around, because they will hit each other. I don't know if they'll still be able to clip through each other. So we'll have to see. I'm not really too concerned about it because I have other ideas for on the sides to put a couple more guns. So there should be something that can get in it everywhere. And also with a truck this high up off the ground, there's a very good chance of getting hung up on... it does go kind of through, but it gets deflected a bit, the fire. But yeah, with anything up high off the ground, any more than a block, you always got a chance, even with only a block, you got a chance of getting hung up on resources. So I usually like to put weapons underneath, pointing down, and like key spots I know I'm getting stuck. But yeah, it's time to get rid of them. You can see it's all getting jammed up, and having blocks stuck here and there, and I don't like that. That's not cool beans, man. Not cool. So, we'll get a little more clean look under there, I guess. But like I said, that could change. That's just armor. It's not a structural thing. I could rip that out and do something with it. We'll just fill them in a little bit, even though that armor may come back off. But we'll see what happens. This build's actually taking a little longer than I thought. Which is good, because I like the way it's turning out so far. It's not like the most exceptional thing I've ever seen built. But it's coming along, and, I think it's going to serve its purpose quite well. Get a little extra fuel. You can never have too much fuel unless you're blowing up. Then you can always have too much fuel. But you know what? I don't know. Let's just see what it does. Well, we can get up to 70. We hit 70 for a second there, but then I stopped. I'd really like to be able to do a catwalk. I was hoping that I would be able to at least get the nose up and power through it. But I think I got the rockets up just a hair too high, so it's actually going to help hold it down, the nose down. So I'm just going to add some more so I can get some straight out speed. Because another thing I've noticed with a lot of these newer wheels is that they're having issues while turning and driving. Well, these ones don't. So, well, actually no, I think it might have just been the one AI or the F1 wheel, the small one, that really gave me the biggest problem. The biggest one the bigger F1 might have been an issue too. But these ones, they have their own issues, like they don't stop running. It's like he's doing brake torques or something. Give him a prop for being awesome though, eh? My little tech's all on his own, no AI, just gunning it. Yeah, right on, still works. Let's cover them up, and they won't get shot so easy. Yeah, we'll do something a little more decorative on that. Put some lights on it. But yeah, just kind of one of those things. Just putt around at it, get it as much done as I can. And I actually had to stop building on this one. I was surprised. I ran out of hard drive space recording. An hour-long video turned into just around 80 gigs. then after I sped it up and rendered it out, I think it come into at about a half an hour long, so I only cut her in half. And I think it come into at about, what was it, 3 gigs? 2.5 gigs, 3 gigs? It's quite the drop, isn't it? There's a difference from the AVI format that I started with and whatever settings it had on it to the MP4 with the settings I got on this. But that is 1080p supposedly. I think that's what I have it set at still. Or I should, unless it reset it. It better not have. I don't think it did. It's been looking fairly good. I don't know if you notice any quality issues, just let me know. That's what the comments be for. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to try and make this as useful as possible so I could put it into the campaign if I want. So I'm going to give her a resource system. Be able to fuel itself, hopefully, quite efficiently with the ideas that I'm kind of focusing on. Because if it can't maintain itself on the run just by using trees, it's not any good. Not this tech. Really, almost not any. Because everything's getting so hard to find and so limited with no responding resources for some types and things like that. So the safest bet, I think, is if you can run on just wood. Now, I know you got to stay kind of close to full capacity or large capacity techs to handle enough wood because it burns up so quick. But then also there's the occasional time you will run into better fuels. And after they get the resource thing a little better fleshed out, I think it'll be easier. Because I find it hard to find them now that it's only a sparkly little thing that shines around them. I really don't care for that being the only thing that determines a rock that has a resource. I think we should still have the stripe plus that, because it is a neat little effect. I do like it, just not by itself. So as you can imagine, I'm going to load this puppy right up. I was thinking of that, but it just doesn't center nice. The feng shui ain't right with that one. So we're going to use this one. Nice. There we go. So that should give me lots of capacity for picking up resources. For picking up only. That's just a pickup. We're not even talking about what I might do for silos. So I do have one idea. But then it's going to really make this thing look fugly. But see, I'm not 100% sure on these resources either now. Because I know there's been some talk about possibly adding back in collisions for resources. So they won't just go straight through blocks. And I'm not sure if that's been put into effect yet. Or what. But it seems like they do interact a little bit with stuff. Like they may not pass through it, but I don't know if you could knock them off a conveyor like we used to. There's no need anymore. We do have the dropper block now. You know, now that I'm watching, going back through this, I see a boo-boo I made right there. With those filters. Yep, guaranteed boo-boo. Oh, I'll fix it later. I'm gonna have to. I'm just voicing over. Yeah, it's the best way to do this. Other than that, I'd have either a 1 hour long episode and normal speed and voice all done at the same time, or I'd have 4 15-minute videos to show you the same thing I'm going to show you in maybe 2. I think it's more efficient. And sometimes I have better stuff to say the second time around because I think up things as I go, but then I also think of things after I've had a few minutes to think about them. So, you know, pros and cons for each way. The cons is you don't get that, the legitimate official reaction to things. So that's, I try to remember how I reacted to things, and then I try and get the voice and the recording done right after if it's something that's really out there and awesome. So I'm still in that kind of a mood. But, once again, we're kind of near the ending of this one. So I'm just going to kind of build away as I do in my outro. Yeah. So, you know what? If you did like what you saw, you know what to do. Fuel up the little channel. Don't forget about the Starter Showcase. And until next time, everybody, keep being the awesome and keep having a good one. Bye.